Tropical storm Mindy has made landfall in the Florida Panhandle. Good Wednesday evening to you. I'm Mike Naso here with the 11 p.m. Wednesday night update on the tropics. We had a quick forming tropical storm in the Gulf. We had been watching that area over the Yucatan, and that disturbed weather moved on up. Thankfully, it passed to the east of Ida-ravaged Louisiana, and it made landfall as a tropical storm over the Florida Panhandle, very near St. Vincent Island, the barrier island there near Apalachicola. This is Mindy spreading all the moisture now into the southeast. Let's get a look at the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Mindy was at 29.9 north, 84.5 west. Winds of 45 is actually pretty impressive for a low-end tropical storm. Tyndall Air Force Base just reported sustained winds of 49 and a gust to 61 at a 115-foot elevation. And there are multiple wind gusts near 55 from St. George Island, the barrier island there offshore Apalachicola. So the Florida Panhandle is in for a nasty weather night. We do have the tropical storm warning from Indian Pass to the Steinhatchee River with those tropical storm force winds and especially the gusts impacting the area. Mindy should remain a tropical storm as it cuts across southern Georgia out into the Atlantic, be a depression, then dissipate northwest of Bermuda by Saturday night. We won't have to deal with Mindy anymore. There is a threat of tornadoes and severe weather you can see from the Storm Prediction Center over the Big Bend area of Florida. That'll mostly be with this convective band on the right-hand side of the tropical storm as Mindy's center moves along. That rainfall and the threat of brief tornadoes, severe weather, heavy rain is very, very possible. Here's the radar imagery from Mark Niesenbaum's radar page. There's the center as it made landfall in St. Vincent Island over Apalachee Bay. Now it's moving inland more, and a lot of heavy rain. You can see there's rain bands well away. Areas here, Cross City, Tallahassee, you guys are in for a wet night as the center of Mindy continues to straddle the Gulf of Mexico, pumping in that hot Gulf moisture right into the coastline here. You guys have seen much worse. You saw a Category 5 landfall, one of only 4 in American history in the last 150 years or so. Hurricane Michael made landfall near Mexico Beach, and Tyndall Air Force Base had Category 5 winds. This is a tropical storm, so a much different situation. Nevertheless, a nasty little night there in the Florida Panhandle. As far as Hurricane Larry, a large, powerful hurricane, it's been out there for at least 4 or 5 days. You can see Larry's at 29.7 north, 60.3 west. Winds of 100, it's weakened. The planes have been flying out there. It's no longer a major hurricane. It's a Category 2, moving north-northwest at 16, 969 millibars. Still a powerful storm, though. You can see the wind field is very large, and those tropical storm winds might clip Bermuda, and for that reason, a tropical storm warning is in effect for the island of Bermuda. However, it should pass just to the east by Thursday afternoon and then race off to the northeast. Areas here of Newfoundland may be in for an impact, perhaps a direct impact from Larry by late Friday night. But look at this. This is Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. It's almost way up here near Greenland. I mean, you're talking way up near the top of our planet. So Larry is going to be one of those classic from Africa all the way near Bermuda, all the way up to Greenland, long-tracked hurricanes. Thank goodness for troughiness off the eastern seaboard, because if we ever have high pressure building in, you would see a track back towards the United States. We did not see that with Hurricane Larry. Here's the latest satellite imagery of Larry, and it's looking a little bit better organized here. You can see it was really disorganized at the beginning of that loop, but it's starting to push out a fat donut eye again. And you can see these this barrier here the hurricane has put up in response to some of these westerly winds, kind of a protective barrier between the inner core and that wind shear. Nevertheless, it's a large and powerful storm, swells, very dangerous rip currents, not just for Bermuda. Can you spot Bermuda on this map? Do you see it? It's right in here where I just circled in white. So it's quite menacing. You see this giant Category 2 hurricane, but it's actually still 300 and some miles away and expected to make that turn. Usually, a hurricane will follow the direction that the upper-level winds want to take it. And so it looks like with Larry, these upper-level winds are pointing to something like that. So we should see that eye just miss Bermuda to the east. But again, what a close call with a powerful hurricane. Last year, they got pounded by Paulette, and in 2019, they got pounded by Hurricane Humberto. Remember that? So Bermuda, for a little island in the middle of the ocean, You guys sure take direct hits a lot. Here's the, this is the wind field, and you can see hurricane force winds are still far enough away. It doesn't look like it'll be impacting the island directly, so that's great news. But again, those tropical storm force winds close enough to where you have that tropical storm warning in effect. Other than Larry we got Mindy here. Other than Mindy and Larry, we don't have anything developing off Africa yet. It's still the peak of hurricane season coming up September 10th, September 11th, usually the climatological peak. And we've seen many hurricanes in the past that have hit the United States well after that date. The Great Miami Hurricane of 26, Category 4, September 18th, I believe. The 1928 Lake Okeechobee Hurricane, September 16th. If we could go another 10, 15 days without it, the odds start to look better. But look, we had Major Hurricane Zeta last year at the end of October. Hurricane Michael, Category 5, October. So we've seen a lot of October activity too, so let's just keep an eye on the tropics to see if anything develops. But right now, Larry and Mindy are the only games in town in the Atlantic. In the Pacific, we have Olaf. Olaf is at 20.0 north, 108.0 west, winds of 50. It's moving north-northwest at 7. We do have a hurricane watch and a tropical storm warning for the Baja here because Olaf is expected to be close to becoming a hurricane. It might not make it. But it might get close enough to where they could have winds there impacting the Baja, which is why we have those watches and warnings. Mexico had a rough week. They had that earthquake in Acapulco yesterday. There's the satellite, and you can see Olaf, not that impressive at all, but there's still a chance it could spit out an eye and become a hurricane as it gets close to the Baja. Right now, for the United States, the focus is on Tropical Storm Mindy drenching the Florida Panhandle, and obviously the devastation left behind from Hurricane Ida in Louisiana, and then the flooding in the Northeast. I'm Mike Naso with a look at the tropics. I'll talk to you guys next time.